Over my left shoulder, you should be able to see one of the plants that I attempt to cultivate in my office over there. It's a bougainvillea. Some of you will have seen them growing profusely in southern Europe. They have the most beautiful flowers, papery in texture and gorgeous in colour, deep purple, pristine white and blood red. This particular bougainvillea was given to me by my father, and it was grown from a cutting that he took in Cyprus. I've really enjoyed having a little bit of the Mediterranean just a few feet from my desk, particularly during our locked down winter. It's a prodigious grower. I've looked at some of the old daily reflections. When I spoke to you on the 5th of November last year, I'd recently pruned it and it barely reached the red fire alarm. Now, one shoot is almost touching the ceiling and another two are reaching around the corner to the door. I've also enjoyed that almost visible growth this year. It's reminded me that although we've all been confined to our homes, that does not mean that positive change is not happening to us. My bougainvillea is straining towards the light. And that's a third reason why I've enjoyed seeing it daily during these months. It's been doing what we've all longed to do, to get to the light at the end of the tunnel. It's reaching out to the light of the deanery garden. We're reaching out for the light of human company, human conversation, and human touch. The plant is getting there, and so, thank God, are we. Straining towards the light is a common metaphor for the life of faith. We readily associate light with God. We burn candles in church and herald Easter with a new fire. At Salisbury Cathedral, our most keenly awaited service of the year is the Advent procession from darkness to light. Light is where we are headed, and darkness is what we're leaving behind. Yet there is a strand in our Christian tradition which does not dismiss darkness, but welcomes it as the environment that is necessary if we are to encounter God. I look at the bougainvillea straining towards the light, and without getting plant life and human life too muddled, I reflect upon the life of faith that it depicts. You or me, fixing all our attention on God and flexing every muscle to reach him, longing to comprehend, striving to understand, rigorous in prayer, scrupulous in study, zealous in good deeds. We reach out for what shines brightly before us. We exhaust ourselves as we strive to leave the shadows behind and step into God's marvellous light. It's an enterprise that is doomed to fail. First, because it's an enterprise that assumes that God is to be attained, that God is to be understood, or that God's approval is to be earned. And second, because it's an enterprise conceived and executed in our own strength. The Christian mystics insist that if we are to encounter God, we must stop trying to reach the light. Instead, we must enter the darkness, where our ability to see is dimmed and our capacity to reason is dulled. In the darkness, we don't know in which direction to reach or which path to take. In the darkness, we're at constant risk of stumbling and falling. If we try to do anything for ourselves, we're likely to fail. In the darkness, all we can do is wait and trust. And it's when we wait and trust that God finds us. When we stop looking and thinking and calculating. Darkness is not to be feared, because our darkness is God's light. Terrible if you're a plant, especially a sun-loving bougainvillea, but good news if you're a human soul. Even darkness is no darkness with you, writes the psalmist to God. The night is as clear as the day. Darkness and light to you are both alike. I often light a candle before I pray. But now and then, perhaps I need instead to extinguish one. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. Have a very good evening. Bless you.